Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Riderpiece Theater. Me, Alistair Dayhawk, and tonight, me proud to present Kamen Rider Gavv, Episode 6, the debut of Kamen Rider Valen. And it had to be through tragedy, because for those who already seen the episode already knows what happened, which raises a lot of questions and theories, which I would want to say to you guys, my audience. And yeah, man, it's already episode 6, and already we have a certain death that happened this early in the game. I'm like, damn, I mean, the writing is good. I mean, I'm entertained. I'm already hooked. Something that Gotchard was desperately needed, because my God, Gotchard, I'm not going to go over this again, but the writing sucked. The main character sucks. Everything about that show sucked. So now, with Gotcha gone, the bar has been given to Gavv, and it's throwing it up where it was supposed to be. So, yeah, I mean, this is a sad episode, guys. Which, by the way, I'm going to say that Kamen Rider has this tendency of reviving people from the dead. And I will continue with the first scene as to why I say this from the beginning, that characters can be brought back to life. Well, Hanto returns to an empty office. His boss is nowhere to be found, and he assumes that he is still on the stakeout at this underground casino and all that stuff. So he decides to call him to make sure that he was okay, when are you coming back, that sort of thing. But all he got was a voicemail. So he decides to go to the site where his boss was supposed to be at, and he couldn't find him anywhere. But as he continues on his search, he finds his boss's stuff on the ground. And Hanto is assuming the worst now. That is he kidnapped? Like, what's going on? Until he finds his boss turned into a spice. But here's the thing. When he found him, he's not whole. His lower half is missing. Hanto got his upper half. And this is where Hanto remembers what Shoma told him last week, that if it gets broken, the human dies. And Hanto is like, oh crap. He is, you can see panic. You could see a little bit of tears coming out, but he's like in panic mode, and he just runs off, and he's like, it can't be, so nah, and like he runs. So already tragedy has struck. So we don't know what happened to the lower half yet, just to let you guys know. And guys, I hope to God that you guys already seen the episode. If not, why in the hell are you here listening to me? Watch the episode first before you get spoiled. That's all. That's just a side note. So we get to the king of sweets, junk food, and diabetes, and he's eating his morning snack, not breakfast, snack. And you see him, popping off his new minions as he's eating his morning snack, because he just woke up. And he summons all his minions, and he tells his minions, hey, from now on, you guys are going to be my scouts. You'll be going around the city and just be on the lookout for anything suspicious. If there's like a monster sighting or any of my siblings showing up, let me know right away. And he does the salute and everything, and the minions are like, doing their own version of their salute. I thought it was cute. And most of them escape. And then of course we have Sachika. I'm sorry. She comes in, and and a few of Shoma's minions just drop dead, air quotes. And Shoma's like, oh crap. I mean, you didn't leave, so I'm gonna hide you guys the best way I can. So Shoma in his underpants was like, hey, how are you? How's it going on? And he's just trying his best to hide the minions, just like making these weird, movements and whatnot. But it didn't work, obviously, because Sashika just spots them almost immediately, and she assumes that these minions are nothing more than toys. And she asks Shoma, are you collecting these toys? They look cute. And Shoma's like, yeah, they're toys. I collect them a lot. They're toys. And this is where we get the official name for Shoma's minions. Sashika named them Gochizos. And that's where we officially gonna call them as. But me, I butcher, I butcher names. So I mean, if I end up calling minions, then you know where I'm referring to. Anyway, so we witness the birth of the Gochizos, at least the name, and then we go back to the continued tragedy of Hanto. He goes to see Professor Suga if there's a way to reverse what happened to his boss, and unfortunately Suga became the bearer of bad news. Like, there's no way to turn him back because his spice is broken, and there's no way, like, he's broken, and there's no way he could be revived now. And so there's nothing that the professor can do. And this is where we get Hanto. He does the what ifs. It should have been me. And, I feel bad for the guy because now we know more about his origin story. So after Hanto's mother was kidnapped, I thought she was killed, because the way the scene was portrayed, the monster looked like it pounced on Hanto's mom. And Hanto was, helplessly looking on. He couldn't do anything. So I was like, this scene is incomplete. So I assumed that Hanto's mom got eaten or something. But according to Hanto, he said that, okay, my mother got kidnapped by the strange monster. My grandmother took over and raised me for a bit until she passed away. And my boss came into the picture where I was so lost and I just didn't want to do anything for my life. So he picked me up and raised me as his own, and now he's gone. Like, poor Hanto, he has nobody. He has no more family. The boss is gone. Like, he has nobody now, which leads to Professor Suga saying, well, do you want revenge? I can give you your revenge. Because here's the thing. I have done research on his remains. It says on the subs. And apparently the boss's killer used some kind of slime. There's been slime around. So there's a clue there. So, and also Suga tells Hanto that he has created his gun, the Valdine gun, as I like to call it, the gun driver. And he is offering it to Hanto, but he cannot use it because he's not a gun ute. So he's like, well, I could give you the powers of a Kamen Rider, but you have to go through an experimental surgery. Which, by the way, I haven't performed any surgery on anybody, so you're going to be my first. And Hanto was like, wait, what? And not to get too ahead, Suga take out this piece of a ganyu that is a shape of a ball, like an organ, and we don't know where Suga got that from, but he says that if I implant this in you, there is a strong possibility that you will have the powers of a Kamen Rider. But of course, Hanto doesn't see it that way because he is telling Suga, so you view me as a guinea pig? Like, what the hell are you? Like, what's going on? And Suga was like, well, here's the thing. You want your revenge on the Ganyuts, the same aliens that kidnapped your mom and took your boss away from you. I want to create things in order to destroy Ganyuts. This is a win-win. You help me, I help you. But Hanto doesn't see it that way, and he runs away. And yeah. So as he runs away, we go to the twins, and this scene is pretty short. The twins receive word that one of their sites got shut down, mainly because of Shoma, and they're scared to death because what happens if Lango finds out that the site is destroyed? That means that the twins' jobs are pretty much like no more work, no more of this position that you have. My siblings, you're fired. You're fired. And the twins have every reason to be scared, not just by losing their jobs, but also feeling the wrath of their older brother. And so after that scene, we get to Shoma, and Sashika, and she's leaving the building and tells Shoma, if you're gonna leave, make sure that you always lock up before you leave. And that's it. We cut from those two scenes to back to Hanto, and he is in disbelief that his boss is gone. Everybody that he knows and cares about are gone. And we get memories of Hanto being a high schooler being beat up, and he meets the boss, and we get the beginnings of Hanto working for his boss. And he is really he doesn't know what to do because this is an experimental surgery. And he is unsure if he's willing to do this because, who knows? He may end up being dead if this surgery fails or something. So, yeah, he's going to come out a changed man after that surgery. So he's really thinking about it. So after that, we get to Shoma. He visits his great uncle. He gives him snacks and offers him, can you help me? Can you work with me? Because I have decided that I want to protect this world. I want to make people happy. Can you please help me? And Shoma's great uncle was like, okay, but do you realize that you're be fighting your siblings, right? I'm also their family. I'm the one who started the dark treats. So are you willing to trust me on this? This is a big deal. And he's right, because why would I work with somebody, family or not, with someone who started this whole thing? But, Shoma's like, look, there's a reason why you haven't returned from the human world. You like this world, and I'm sure you love humans as much as I do. So it makes perfect sense for you to help me. And there's some things I do not understand about what you did to me. And my powers, I'm trying to understand my powers. You're the one who can possibly help me deal with these powers. Can you please help me? And of course, his great uncle says, of course I'm going to help you. And, I'm happy to help you. And this is where Shoma gives his great uncle his one of his gochizos to be an advocate, and that's it. And his great uncle was like, you're a tough kid, and Shoma's like, I have to be tough because I'm going up against my family. So yeah, I have to. And speaking of his family, we got Nyelv, who is researching his great uncle's notes and trying to figure out, wait a minute, my great uncle performed this surgery on my half brother, and it says that it supposedly failed. And while I look at this fight scene on my tablet, it seemed that it worked. Interesting. And as he is doing his research, the twins come crawling to their older brother and be like, "Hey, hey, brother, we have a situation. Can you help us?" And the twins were in shock that their brother also knows about Shoma and whatnot, so they didn't need to go into full details. Instead, the twins are like, "Okay, that's great. So can you help us? Because if Lango finds out about what happened to one of the sites, and also with Shoma being alive, he's gonna have our heads. So can you help us?" But Nyelv says, "No, I have a keen interest in Shoma, so I don't want you to try and kill him, at least not yet, because I have an interest in him." So yeah, that's it there. But also, before this scene ends, Nyelv has the boss's lower half on his hand. So I have questions, guys. Like, how in the hell did he get his hands on the boss's lower half? Which begs the question, is there a possibility that the boss could be revived if his two pieces become whole again? That's food for thought. That's question for thought. Is there a way for the boss to come back if the pieces become whole? And it goes back to what I said earlier. Kamen Rider has a tendency of reviving people from the dead. So I wouldn't be surprised that in the near future, the boss could return. It's too early, guys. It's too early. And I will say a couple of things to the very end in regards to the actor playing Hanto's boss. So I'll leave that towards the very end. Anyways, so Nyelv says no. He holds the bottom half of Hanto's boss, and we move to Hanto, and he returns, and he makes the ultimate decision of telling Professor Suga that I'm willing to perform this surgery. So he makes the ultimate decision, and we move to the next scene with the Gami Gochizo, and he sees this performer doing the juggling and all that stuff, and it's the same person, the Ganyut that pretty much killed Hanto's boss, right? So the Gummy decides to approach the performer, the clown, the evil Ganyu clown, and he notices the second mouth underneath his stomach, right? So the Gummy Ganyu went all like shocked, and you see the Kachizo opening up with the open mouth and I thought it was funny. So the scared Kachizo just like turns around and reports back to Shoma, which, by the way, Shoma is doing a job with Sashika, giving out flyers to this new restaurant, and the Gummy Chichizo approaches Shoma and tells that there is a evil Ganyu at such and such place, and Shoma tells Sashika, "Hey, I will pass flyers down that way, see if we get any bites." So Sashika just like lets him go and whatnot, and yeah, it goes there. And meanwhile, as Shoma is trying to find the evil clown Ganyut, this is where I'm gonna give Suga the nickname Dr. Nick. Why? Because Dr. Nick did not put Hanto to sleep. Hanto was like, "Okay, so when are you going to put me to sleep?" Well, I have local anesthesia, and you might be put to sleep or half asleep. And Hanto's like, what? Wait, what? And then Dr. Nick was like, "No talk. Not there's no time like the present." And he does the cutting, and Hanto's like screaming like, "Ah!" I'm like, "Damn, man, Suga, I'm gonna call you Dr. Nick from now on." Jeez, you didn't put your own. Oh, poor Hanto. I mean, he thought that he was gonna be put to sleep first before he gets cut open. But no. Not only that Dr. Nick doesn't do surgery, he just does surgery without putting someone to sleep. I'm like, man, like this is this is horrible. I mean, the lengths you go to just to attain power. Oh. So as Hanto is being cut open and not put to sleep. Oh God, it's horrible. Before I jump to Shoma, I forgot to mention this. Okay, so as Shoma was trying to find the evil clown and Hanto being performed, as Dr. Nick was cutting him open, he takes out the Ganyu organ, and Hanto again, not put to sleep. He just stares at the thing, and he just witnessed a horrible act. Dr. Nick just stubs the organ in as if it was like as if Hanto was like a turkey being stuffed. It was horrible. And Hanto was like, ah, and he's just grabbing the bed sheets because he's in a lot of pain. And my God, Dr. Nick, put the poor boy to sleep. Sure, he lost everything, but he doesn't need to lose his life. Damn, put him to sleep. Oh, God. So as Hanto is being stuffed as a stuffed turkey with that Ganyu organ, thanks to Dr. Nick, Shoma is at the site. He sees this man performing in front of an audience, and he picks a girl from the crowd. He was going to make a magic trick, making this girl disappear. But due to the gummy Chizo telling Shoma that this is a rogue Ganyut, he knows that this is not a disappearing act. She's going to get turned into a spice, or worse, get eaten in front of everybody. So this clown Ganyut, I know he's a mushroom Ganyut, but in any case, he picks a girl from the crowd, and he grabs a red cloth, puts it over this girl, and does the abracadabra thing. Shoma goes in, pushes the girl out of the way, and during this scene, as Shoma pushes the girl to safety, the guy Newt gets exposed to everybody because you see him lifting his shirt up, and you see the boyfriend witnessing this second mouth with the tongue going around. And it's not just him, mind you. Remember, this guy Newt had an audience. He was performing in front of humans. And this scene was so weird because Shoma is attending to the girl, making sure that she's okay, that she's alright, but the boyfriend had the nerve to go after Shoma as if he did something wrong. And I'm like, dude, didn't you just witness this alien with a second mouth trying to eat your girl? And yet you're going after Shoma for doing something wrong? What the hell is wrong with you? And to make matters even more weird, the audience just stood there and not react to anything at all. Instead, it's like if an audience sees a guy new, a human, let's say a human with a second mouth, trying to eat this girl, don't you think that your first reaction is to be like, monster, run away? No. In this scene, it didn't happen. Instead, the audience just stood there all stupid, witnessing this stupid boyfriend telling of Shoma, like, hey, what the hell did you do? Like, what the hell's wrong with you? I'm like, what the? Like, this boy is so dumb. But anyways, so the boyfriend is like, is accusing Shoma for doing something wrong. And then the evil guy, new clown man, is like, yeah, like, you did something wrong. Like, how could you? And he just starts running away. And Shoma's like, okay, komenne, sorry, goodbye. And he runs after the Ganyut. So that scene where Shoma rescues this girl was so weird because the people there was not reacting to it at all. And the boyfriend is acting like Shoma did something wrong. I'm like, dude, didn't you just witness this alien trying to eat your girlfriend? And you're yelling at Shoma? What the hell's wrong with you? Anyways, so Shoma catches up to the evil clown, and they both transform. And Shoma does his trademark, catchphrase: "Give up the crack candies, or I'm gonna give you a knuckle sandwich." And of course, the Ganyu says no, and they have this fight. However, this fight didn't go towards Shoma's favor because of the slime that the evil mushroom Ganyu produced. It pretty much cancels out, his attacks. And this fight was funny because as he tried to rider kick this mushroom Ganyu, it didn't work. And he just runs away, and Shoma tries to go after him, but thanks to his big foot, he trips and falls. I find it to be funny. So as the evil mushroom Ganyu runs away from Shoma, he encounters Hanto and Dr. Nick. And Hanto got out from for one thing, how in the hell did Hanto and Dr. Nick find out where was the evil Ganyu was at, for one? Two, like, Hanto, how are you still up after this massive surgery you had with Dr. Nick? You weren't put to sleep. I'm sure you're in a lot of pain, and yet you still came out and met your boss's killer, and just I don't know. I know. Should I have respect for Hanto? Because I should have respect for him, because I mean, he undergoes surgery without any sleep, and he decides to fight this monster to avenge his boss, and you're still in a lot of pain. Like, how is that even possible? Anyways, so Hanto asks this monster, were you the one who did this? And he shows, the upper half of his boss, and the mushroom says, yeah, I did, so what? And without asking for a why or anything like that, Hanto says, it doesn't matter your explanation, I'm here to kill you. And we get to see the debut of Kamen Rider Valen. And yeah, I mean, the suit, it's a chocolate donut. It's a chocolate donut. Because it looked like, donuts and it's chocolate. Anyways, I have to give kudos to the suit actor because he did an awesome job portraying Hanto still in pain and still, getting the hang of this, because he came out of surgery. It wouldn't make any sense for Hanto to really be well enough to fight. So the suit actor did an awesome job portraying that. So Hanto tries to shoot the mushroom, but obviously he keeps on missing because he's still in pain. But ultimately he pushed through that pain and is beating the mushroom, to oblivion. And during the fight, Shoma shows up with his gachizos, and Shoma's like, wow, like, who is this Kamen Rider? And he's doing well. And Dr. Nick spots Shoma and his gachizos, and he's like, So you'll be asking, why is Dr. Nick there? He was just filming his whole thing, and he was very happy about the results of the surgery. Everybody witnessed Valen destroying the evil mushroom, and then this is where Dr. Nick decides to sneak by and steal a couple of Shoma's gochizos and runs away. But instead of Shoma going after him, he decides to let him go. And he's like, have I seen him before? I don't remember. But he just, I don't know, Shoma appears like he doesn't care if his minions get stolen or something, but because he always can produce more, so he's like, okay. I mean, he runs away with my Gachizo, so it's cool. It's fine. So Shoma disappears. Dr. Nick runs away, and Hanto is there, and he's like, look, he's by himself, and he tells his master, his boss, I'm sorry that I had to go through this. I had to go through this painful surgery to become a Kamen Rider, but I did it for you. I hope you're watching over me in the sky for the things that I'm gonna do. Please forgive me, and all that stuff. And that scene was touching, and you see Hanto just gingerly, just still in his suit, just walks away because again, came out of surgery, he came out of a fight, so I wouldn't be surprised that he's just like gingerly walks in pain. And then you see Nyelv looking over Hanto, so I'm guessing that he saw the fight as well, and he says that things are getting more interesting. All they needed was a little push, and that's how the episode ends. So I have a question for you guys. Did Nyelv orchestrate this whole thing? Because why else does he have, the boss's lower half? Did he disguise himself as an agent to give the evil Ganyu mushroom clown man to go after the boss? Or did he send one of his agents to do his bidding and all that? Why the keen interest in Hanto? Why? Which leads me into this interesting theory. Is there a possibility that Hanto's mother is Shoma's mother? Could it be possible that Hanto and Shoma could be half siblings? Now, it's an interesting theory to think about, but it all goes to, okay, how old is Hanto and how old is Shoma? Because if Hanto is older, then there is a possibility that he could be an older half sibling. It's too early, but it's an interesting theory to think about. Could it possibly be that Shoma and Hanto could be half siblings? I mean, Kiba happened. Why is brother Nyelv have an interest in Hanto? I know it makes sense that he has a keen interest to his half brother and all that, but why Hanto? Why is he why is he interested in Hanto? He's a human. Well, not anymore because he has Ganyu DNA now, but it's just begs the question as to why is he interested in Hanto? Why? Now leading up to the supposed death of Hanto's boss, I have yet seen anything about the actor receiving his flowers. However, there's another picture going around that the actor is officially done with Gavv, saying that he got, instead of flowers, he got salted fish, and he is done. There's no way of him coming back, except he is welcome, to return, but as like a piece of, like as a memory or anything like that, he's open to coming back as a memory or whatever. So I don't know. Just take it as a grain of salt. As of right now, for me, I'm gonna go with he is not dead, and he will come back because Kamen Rider has that tendency. Unless I see something online later this week saying that, yeah, it's official, the actor is not coming back. His character is dead, so he's done. So unless I see that, I'm going to say that he's going to be alive. That he's alive. That the only way to revive him is to glue his pieces together, and then Shoma can revive him that way. Other than that, I have to say Gavv is very good. Like already there's tragedy, and Hanto is already a Kamen Rider, and you kind of wonder what's gonna happen to him now. Like, is he gonna live with Dr. Nick now, or he's gonna take over the office? We don't know yet, but yeah, it's pretty sad, but with tragedy comes with great power. Well, in this case, the birth of a new hero in Hanto. And yeah, guys, before I go, what do you guys think about my theory of Hanto and Shoma being half brothers? Do I have a strong case, or it's just a theory, guys? I don't think it's gonna pan out, but it's too early. We're in episode 6 heading into episode 7, so yeah. And also, do you think that the boss can be revived? Is he still dead? Give me your thoughts and opinions on that as well. Other than that, thank you so much for listening. If you have seen episode 6, which I hope you guys did, give me your thoughts and opinions about it. Did you like it? Did you dislike it? And what would you change if you didn't like it? Give a like if you like it, and please subscribe. And I'll see you all on the other side of Oblivion. Johnny!